It's time to gather together. Hi there, I'm Yelta, and I'll be buying the first round while we chat about Final Fantasy XIV. This is episode 185. Pull up a chair and join us. On the menu tonight, duty commenced episode 34, archive, now available. Letter from the producer live, part, whatever LV is, that's 55? No, it can't be 55. Whatever. Digest 65. Digest released. Pre 5.1 interviews with Yoshida by Famitsu, Dengenki Game Watch, and Gamer. Those are translations we stole off of Reddit. How to make a raid, lessons from WoW, Guild Wars 2, and Final Fantasy XIV devs. We have developers blog and some tweets from fans. But first, let's shoot the shit. What has been going on this week? Hey, Ruby.
Yelta, what's up?
Everything. All the things.
All the things. I think you were right. I think that was 55. I think you're good there. It's been a fun week. I had a busy early part of the week, a not so busy latter part of the week. So the first part of the week, I didn't get to play a whole lot. The latter part of the week, I did. But I haven't had a battle-minded, mindset. I really wanted to do some gathering. So I jumped on my gatherers. My botanist and miner were both 70. My fisher was a measly 60. But I think I spent about 2 hours on botanist on Saturday, maybe it was, or Sunday. I think Saturday, though. And got it to 80. And then I did the same thing on miner, doing leaves. And took it to 80 last night. Got bored, jumped on Fisher, and went to 65. And then I finished that to 70 today. So I'm on a roll, Yelta. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna finish Fisher. Probably maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
Fast. It's real. Isn't it really fast?
It's super fast, and it's different when you do. Botanist and miner as compared to fishing. I forgot what fishing leveling was like, and it's like hoping upon hope that whatever fish you're trying to catch for your leave actually gets caught, and you end up leveling trying to get this fish. So you get more of your levels, like trying to get a few fish and get a few leaves just to bump you up. Whereas botanist and miner, it's just you run. I can't believe how fast this was. I would do one set of leaves at 70. I would do one set of leaves, and then I think I had to go back to the zone, and I would do all three again, but I would definitely be 72 at that point, right?
Right.
So then when I went to Ilmeg, I only had to do that set of leave once, and then I was in the 74. So it happens again. I do one set. I do another set. It puts me enough into 77 that, or 78, that when I run the next set of leaves, I only have to do those once, and then I'm in Lakeland. And that happened both ways. It was incredibly fast. Leaves are definitely the way to go, but it was insanely fast for me. And I also I can't believe I was using such poor gear. I was using the level 60 set, but I'd been sitting on so many yellow gathering scripts, I didn't realize I could buy a whole 70 set. So I got the entire Land King set and all of the tools for whatever yellow scripts I had, and then some to buy some scrolls. Of course, leveling, I always use the scroll that, and I don't remember the names of any of these. The scroll that gives you the 2 hour buff that's like a plus like 20% experience points or something. It's like a level. It's like a tier 3 gathering experience up buff.
Well, and those stack with one of the manuals too. So
it does
both effects. Yeah.
That is correct. So the best one I found, there was a manual that gave like 12 million points, and I think I got that out of some of the quests. I must have done some quest and got those items. Now, there was one you can buy, and it was 6 million, and that was with yellow scripts. And I bought a few of those, and pushed minor through with that. So yeah, there's tools. You want to do that, and of course you want to eat food. So there were ways that helped push me on, but you can spend 3 days and have all your gatherers completely done, and it takes no work at all, honestly. And I'm sure I've made money because what stuff I've gathered I can sell, and I have been. And then the other part of that is, like with these fish, anything I've had left over, I'm desynthing because that's a no-brainer right now. I'm not 100% sure, but Yelta, correct me. Can you get max level desynthing in all Disciples of Hand now? I don't know either. I'm going for it.
I don't know if they took that restriction off or not. I don't know why they wouldn't, since they just were like, whatever. Yeah. But
that's how I feel about it. So I'm just desynthing everything under the sun. I don't care what it is. I'm desynthing it. Because if I go to the Dome and Enclave, I sell enough stuff to get things. But honestly, while I'm desynthing, I'm getting like those crystals that you just sell. And bronze Allegan such and such. I'm getting things to sell there. I don't need the I don't need shit from my grand company more than enough.
Oh, I know. it's you have so much stuff.
So why not desynth? So don't forget desynth. Yes.
Did you do the quest in the Crystarium?
For
the gathering quests?
Yeah, absolutely. I did it on Botanist the first way through. It was a somewhat cute story. I wasn't like completely invested in it. It was it was kind of cute, like to see. Can I spoil it? I don't know.
In your past, I would think that if
for that, since that was 5.0 content, that was right?
5.0, yeah.
To see the dinosaurs at the end of it was pretty cute.
Kind of cute.
Fishing
has its own, so.
Of course, and I saw that when I hit 70, I saw the quest giver light up. So that's going to be my next. I hit 70 like 15 minutes ago or something. It's like I just hit it.
So I shouldn't be drilling you about all your 70 to 80 preparations for fishing.
Well,
and then you do your custom deliveries every week?
Oh God, no. Let me tell you what stuff I've left on the table and just what. And this is just for the leveling process. Of course, now that I have them leveled up, I'm going to do them because I need those white scripts, right? But in all of this, what I failed to do was any kind of collectibles, and any of those turn-ins like you're talking about with the custom deliveries.
There are a lot of XP too. So.
I didn't do any of those, and only for Fisher did I go back and do the Catfish Boys. And level up with the Namazu, which that was like every time I did a set, it gave me a level. So that was one other way I bumped that Fisher in 2 days, of leveling it to casually to 70. So there were options I completely left on the table and did not take, and it still took me almost no time at all to level these gatherers. And again, I feel this goes back to the philosophy that Yoshida has had, honestly, since 1.0 when he took over, which is the leveling process doesn't really matter, other than maybe like Eureka. The leveling process is just like womp womp. It's what you do once you hit endgame is really what I feel like the game caters more to. So I think they've dumbed down the leveling aspect to another degree where it's just fast track you because we have quote unquote endgame content coming very soon for crafters and gatherers. So you don't want to waste a bunch of time leveling. We're past that. We're gonna get leveled up and we're gonna do Ishgard Restoration and Diadem 3. I can't believe it. The Diadem Part 3 is nigh upon us.
It's back.
Woo. It's like that Popeyes chicken sandwich, and people may die over a diadem as well. I don't know. We'll name this one Popeyes chicken sandwich. And anyway, that is really the majority of what I've done. I really didn't do any battle content. I think maybe one time I did an expert. just to do some shit. You did some fun stuff that I didn't join in with at all. I feel guilty that I didn't. But
hey, if you're feeling the gathering, I think you got yes. If we had like a set static and a rigid schedule, which honestly we have been being like, no, we're not in the mood for that, then you could feel bad. But we have like this kind of casual thing on Tuesday where, you know, if you sign up, show up, and then, you know, we did some other stuff on the weekend. But no, don't. I think pushing yourself is why you take those breaks and get burned out. You gotta play the content that feels fun to you right now.
Right. You said it. You hit the nail on the head. I feel like after taking a break, I want to do the things that is interesting me, because if I do something that doesn't and then I get a sour taste, it's going to reinforce anything that would want to take me back out of the fun experience. So do the fun stuff. Enjoy your time. I'm saying that to myself, but I'm saying that for any of those that are listening to that, and have a good time. So that is basically my week. What have you been up to?
Well, I also got maybe sidetracked. All of a sudden, I was just like, I want to finish my crafters. I think last time I spoke to everybody, I think I still had 3 to get to 80 or 2 to get to 80. I've just been like, I leveled up a few, but really, I've just been doing custom deliveries. Right, when the game first hit 5.0, I think I did some leaves and some. I got a few of them leveled, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wait. I want to wait for Ishgard restoration. Apparently, no. So for every week I've been doing the weekly custom deliveries, and that's a lot of XP. And you can do 2 sets of them from 2 different people who give you the quests. So I did the honeybee ones. Is it the honeybee? The hive? What's the name of the bar?
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
No, the hive was Human Revolution. Anyway, some bee-related strip club. No, but so I don't know. I got a bee in my bonnet and took my crafters to 80, and then the other night, I just was like, my gear is terrible. I had crafting's so easy now that my stats didn't fucking matter. I could make whatever I wanted to level up, but then you hit this. Pretty soon you're gonna hit a wall. Now being 80, I need my end game gear. Now I didn't make the end game gear. There is a higher set of gear, but I made all of the. Is it the 430 gear set? I haven't made all the tools. I only made the tools for Weaver so far. But so there and there's another gear set beyond all of these. But usually I don't get too nuts about crafting, but I wanted to be. I don't know what Ishgard Restoration is going to bring, but I feel like if it's not super endgame, I should be able to actually participate in 430. I'll probably get another bee in my bonnet and make another set or whatever, but the better set, but we'll see what happens. I also melded. I didn't super meld everything, but I did lose a lot trying to over meld some pieces. Womp womp, right?
Yeah.
I did Beastman dailies. I think tomorrow I should hit another one where it unlocks the quest.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I've been switching to whatever I have that's level 70. Because that 70 to 71, I don't know if I'm playing the game wrong, but it's a little rough, right? You can only run the 70 dungeons. You're too low to get all the XP for doing fates, even in Lakeland. You don't get full credit and whatever. So Beastman dailies are kind of the way to go for that. And then I did that trick. So I ran PvP on Monday night. By the way, not loving the 4-man restriction for queuing up for that.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know why they did it. We have 2 guesses, I guess. My group had 2 guesses, and it was either they're worried about full 8-man pre-mades stomping people, but mind you, we still got stomped, so whatever. But I don't need more content to run with 3 other people. I need more content I can run with 8 or 7 or more other people. And yeah, I suppose we could have started multiple 4-man groups and whatever, but I don't know. It was okay. I do that thing where you queue in as not the job you want to play, but something you want the XP for. So you queue in, and as soon as you get in, I just switched to White Mage. You get your XP on whatever job you queued in as. So I think I got like a couple levels on something just from doing that in the last couple of weeks.
Nice.
So I do PvP. I do enjoy PvP. We got, what's the one where you have to hold the tombstone monolith things, and I don't know. It's not my favorite one because we got really unlucky, and you suck, so you have to complain about luck. But there were a couple times where every single of the first half of the fight, all of them were over at the Maelstrom's camp, basically.
Gross.
All of the things spawned over there. And, one would finally spawn over by us, and, like, everybody would come running across. I don't even know how there were so many Maelstrom in the game. But it was okay. It was kind of fun. Mm-hmm. None of the people I'm running with is taking it too seriously, and I think that helps. It is really funny when you get someone who's just, like, massively into it and just losing their shit. And it's like, you can try to guide us, and I'll watch the chat log, and we'll run over and fight whatever you want to fight or whatever. But don't be mean. That
angry leader that's shouting at the rest of the group. Get your asses in gear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind don't feed flames or whatever. They're coming from the south. Let's go here. I don't mind someone taking charge. I like that.
Right.
I like someone to kind of guide all the other people in the party, but...
Strong man. Take me by the hand. Guide me to the promised land.
Guide me. Oh, what else did I do? Last night I logged in. I was just going to do Nier, and then I got abducted by Beldandy.
You were bamboozled.
I did E1S. I made it a trap party, and I'm sorry, and I hope I'm not on too many blacklists right now. Actually, one of the healers was the other healer from the one where I murdered everybody with the south spinning orb. I didn't realize quite how close to it you had to be. I've only done, my position was the west wall, right?
I was always south spinning orb until I failed and quit. I'll be back.
But then we tried a couple, and then the second party we got, because the first party fell apart. First of all, the other tank was terrible. Baldandy, it was amazing. The other healer was trying to be helpful, but they quit. They're like, you need to whatever, but they left. And then the second party, we got in there, and it was going okay. And then we get to one point, and the healer types, "This is the furthest I've ever gotten here." And we're like, what? We're like, this is a weekly farm. Now, mind you, I've already murdered the party twice. The previous party twice. But we're like, this was... Because we were like sitting in chat, and we're like talking about... Because we wiped, and then before she said anything, we're like, she's got like brand new eye level, bare eye level to get in, no melds. We're like, what is this? We're like, even for... Somebody's like, well, maybe an alt. And we're like... Even in alt, people will put in cheap melds. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, why would you go into something called Savage without any melds, I guess? Mm-hmm. But, so, that party dissolved, as they, will. And then some people in our voice chat were like, I'm going to blacklist them. And we're like, no, don't blacklist her. I think she honestly didn't know better. And I think, we told her what they did wrong. You don't join parties that say farm if you're not a farmer.
Right. So
I did do Nier again after that last night, and I died a lot, but I'm blaming my son. I was downloading what is it, Red Dead Redemption 2 or some shit?
You said it was Red Rump.
Red Rump, some sort of furry.
Red Rump Ride Redemption.
Something. I don't know. But he's downloading it, and our internet's so bad. I literally, while I was doing something important, I had like turned off the wireless. He's just learned to live with it by now. But no, I died a lot in the fight. I've done it 3 times now, and the first time just murdered us. Not even just destroyed us. But now I know what to look for. So the second time I did it, it was fine. The third time, I'm like, I still died a couple times. And then I got, like, on one of the bosses where the thing's in the middle, and he's like shooting beams and flames at you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had been on a platform I hadn't been on before. I'd always been on the other platform. And then I think I was lagging because there was at least twice where I died in a safe zone. They just kept raising me. I got 3 commendations. I have no idea. I did get the caster body, which is what I wanted because it's even cute on Lalafell.
Nice.
But I capped, which I haven't done at all yet, I think. I don't know. I tried some Hades EX. We went on, I don't remember, Saturday night?
I think it was Saturday, yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, because you were busy.
I was working.
You had other things going on. The first half seems easy enough. I think with the Free Company and Friends group, we got well into the second phase. I think we didn't want to push ourselves, right? If we start making a lot of mistakes, we get mad and then we get disheartened. So so I did something else for a while. I came back and I'm like, no, I want to work on Hades. And apparently I got to some point in, I think, what they call phase 3. So, which is supposed to be the hardest phase. 1 and 2 didn't seem that bad, but I couldn't concentrate anymore, so I probably got on blacklists there too. We'll see what happens. Yelta won't be able to get a party anymore because she gets tired and drunk and doesn't know where to take a tether. I did try to do New Game Plus. I went and unlocked it, and I brought up the beautiful menu, and I tried to start the Heaven's Ward. I thought, let me see. I'll do New Game Plus Heaven's Ward. I got the message, unable to commence New Game Plus mode while undertaking a leave. So that was when I was still working on getting my crafters up. So I'm like, I guess I won't then.
Okay. But you weren't like... Well, I mean, with a crafting leave, you're just holding the leave. It's not like you're in something.
Active.
Yeah.
It was weird. I may go back and try it now that I've got my crafting all done, and I don't do a lot of battle leaves.
And that was what was keeping? So the leave was keeping you from
unable to commence New Game Plus mode while undertaking a leave.
I wonder what system leaves do that New Game Plus overlaps. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it just seems weird. In fact, it's weird enough it's got a specific error message, so they know you can't do it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why can't you do it? I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Most of us are running around with capped leaves and don't even have any. You know. Oh, let's see. And then I did treasure maps. We did some treasure maps on Friday. It was a good time. We stopped doing the 4-hour marathon treasure maps, but because I feel like you've played to burn some people out. I'll do map parties for a long time, but it seems to work better if you do bite-sized pieces. Did not get to the final room. I need to get to the final room 2 more times to get that achievement. That's really what's bothering me right now. I did loot enough of some fiber cloth that was worth like 1,000,000 gil, so I sold that off. That was nice. I get like 8 pieces or something. I don't know. It was nuts. But we do free-for-all looting, so I guess I shouldn't feel too bad when once in a while I get the loot. Other people get stuff all the time, so I shouldn't feel too bad. But that was it, and that was a lot, right?
Right.
Tonight I went and did Beastman Dailies, and I was trying not to get distracted because I'm like, we have to record. But anyway, you can shoot the shit with us on our website, www.gtffxavia.com. Ruby, I'm going to let you take the next bit.
Oh, yeah. So our patrons for the month of November, shout-outs to Kevin Hughes, Demi45, Flora Cooperstone, and Varya Kimon. Thank you so much for being patrons of ours. Thank you for your support, and thank you for all of you who listen and share us with your friends and those in the Final Fantasy XIV community. We really appreciate you.
All right, the first round is news. News. Due to commence to episode 34, archive is now available. I totally missed this one. I totally didn't even know what was happening until it was over. I don't even know what they did.
I don't know either. This one I missed as well because I think it was around the Halloween's times, and I was busy around that time. Let's see. I'm fast forwarding and taking a look. It looks like they did some Halloween-y stuff. They saw some people. Some more Halloween-y stuff with Carbuncle. The ladies are wearing some cute outfits, and
did they give anything away?
it's a witch's hat. Let me scroll to the end. Oh, here's some cool art. Song.
They did.
Mice. They're giving mice away. Mouses. Mises.
Mises?
Oh, there's a floating mise. Interesting. Somebody's in a bodysuit. Has to be. Somebody is in a green bodysuit. Who would this be?
Oh, no.
They don't show their face?
Oh,
I don't know.
I feel really bad I missed these, but they're always when I can't see them. I guess I should, log in and, I think one of the days I had off and I actually ran and we did a primal. I think I actually went with them for some primal. I don't remember what it was.
Well, I mean, you're still supporting Final Fantasy XIV, so it's okay.
It's true. I should not beat myself up.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't hurt yourself, Yelta. You're fine. I wonder who was in the green suit. Oh, well. Probably Sam. Probably Sam, the new guy. The intern.
Sam, the new guy. I thought we were firing the intern. Why were we firing the intern? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Apparently we rehired the intern. Steve the intern is back. Now, I don't know what the hell's going on. We can't afford an intern, Yelta. It's a free position.
It's a free position.
If anybody wants it, it's a free position.
Be our intern. All right. Letter from the Brewster Live Part 55 Digest was released. This was the one that was basically about Nier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the content features. So, all stuff that's now old news.
Very now. We've done Nier. It's great. It kills us.
It kills us. It kills me over and over and over again. Oh, I tried the performance assistance feature, and I'm still too terrible to play any sort of music with that. I'm dumb as fuck.
Yeah, I haven't tried. They have Mary Have a Little Lamb. Maybe I can do that.
I think it was a Final Fantasy song was the first one I tried.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know.
That sounds like advanced. That doesn't sound like beginner.
It was not. There were buttons.
There were buttons.
I don't know. When is patch 5.11?
Hell if I know.
When is that coming?
When's that coming, Yoshida?
I don't know. Because that's Ishgard Restoration.
Right.
Is 5.11. Did you do the slices right yet? I have not. It's not.
No, I've heard it's hard.
No, really?
Yeah, that's what the Reddit folks are saying.
The Reddits said that?
The Reddits or the official forums. I can't tell. Somebody said it. I read a lot of official forums at work because I can get there.
I can't get there anymore, and it makes me so sad. I miss all of the whiny stuff. I mean, some of the whiniest shit is on the official forums.
God, I want to go right now.
We'll just do it live. We'll do it live.
Fuck it, let's do it live. No, I'm gonna go there, but I'm not. I'm gonna try to not derail. What were we talking about?
There we go. Restore 8-man parties for Frontline, and then all the other ones were about 2B's butt with the outfit.
Okay, there has been a lot of bitching about the coffers and all that, and I do think it's kind of shitty. I can't tell if it's a meme or not. But it is kind of shitty if you win the coffer and then roll on the coffer again. I can't tell if this is a meme or not, Yelta, but the people saying I have to get a second set for my retainer glamour.
I'm like, that's not how glamours work.
It's not how
somebody
glamour
replied
works.
That too. They were like, you put it in your glamour chest, you make a glamour plate, and then you just glamour it over and put it on your...
And I think why would you need more than... 7 people that listen to this podcast will agree that that's not how it works. So that's why I think it's a meme, is because most people in the community know that that's not how glamour
have you
works.
seen the videos of people discarding it or desynthing something? I don't remember.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like buying an Xbox on the first day and then bashing it with a hammer in front of the line at Best Buy.
Something like that. It's just...
burning.
I think it's a major oversight. First of all, the game knows when I have a song, and you use those, they get logged. I would like and same with the minions. The minions a drop, and then you use the item, and it becomes in your inventory or whatever, your minion menu. They need to change it so you can only get one year. There's no there's no reason to have multiples. Put it on the Calamity Salvager in case you ever get rid of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have they have the technology. I think they don't understand what assholes their players are.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think, well, and I always feel bad, too, because you can roll on some of those scrolls that you already have.
Sure.
And I am not going to try to find they need, first of all, to add searching to the Orchestrion menu.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd like to be able to search if I have something quickly. I would pass it, right? I would pass something that I didn't need. That stuff drops enough, it's probably never going to be super valuable in the markets anyway, I guess. You know, let the ones you have to craft, the faded ones or whatever, I'll loot extras of those, craft them, and then sell them because I have to do something, but I don't know. I think the coffers being lootable after you've already gotten one is crap. Crap.
Wow, I'm reading one here that says Frontline's Pre-Made did not fix issues with the 4-man did not fix any issues with Frontline Pre-Mades that full groups are still able to goof with the system. I guess queuing at the same time still funnels them through.
German or something, or
and somehow it still works. So I don't know if this is legit or just.
I remembered the other thing I did this week. Let me just bring it up because it's all about me.
Oh, great.
So I took my squadron through the dungeons I hadn't completed yet. I think I did all of them. Do you know which one is fucking difficult?
Which one?
What the fuck's the name of it? It's the one with all the tonberries, the hard mode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that one's...
Wondrous Palace.
Wondrous Palace hard. I quit that one because it's very, very hard. In fact, I was gonna do
because of the shit at the end? Because you have to kite that thing at the very end?
And even one of all three bosses have something you may... Well, the second boss isn't so bad. The first boss drops those poles into the ground or whatever, and you have to kill them. So you have to keep, targeting them and telling your group to do it, and you have to... I don't mind telling my dudes what to do, but I can't tell the tank to stay on the boss and then tell the rest of the party to attack the things, and I can't solo the things.
Mm-hmm.
But so I could get past that even not on healer, but I get to the final boss, the healers wouldn't. I went in as a DPS. The healer would not top me off, and I'd die from doom and wipe.
Oh yeah,
it's bad at the game, but
yeah, I repeatedly had that problem. I'm not sure if I had to end up running it on Red Mage and heal myself.
Red Mage would have been a good choice. Yeah, I went as White Mage because I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, or if I ended up switching to a healer and did it. And I think I did that once, and then I've never gone back because no.
The vault, very easy. I expected the vault to be harder. The Aether Research Facility, that was easy. I didn't have any trouble with any of them. Just the Wanderer's Palace hard. So, I don't know. Your mileage may vary, listener, but please let me know if I'm just dumb. Because I was to the point where I was so angry, my husband tried to talk to me, and he was and I'm trying to nod and smile while he's talking to me, and then I died. I'm like, fuck. He's like, fine, I won't talk to you anymore. And I'm like, no, honey. I'm like, I just keep wiping over and over, and I thought this was going to be a cakewalk. So, am I just bad, or?
No.
Anyway, I massively digress. Shall we move on then? We have a couple of older items, I think, that we've been kind of sitting on. One of them is a Reddit thread, has some pre-5.1 interviews. I'm not sure how much of this is still we're going to care about anymore. I did read this back in the day, but I don't know if I remember. So the 4 Japanese media sites released their interviews with Yoshi P. And this is Carrie, or Light, posted this.
Usually does. Thank you, Carrier
of
Light.
Yes.
Yeah.
Warning, 5.0 story spoilers. So there's just a too long didn't read at the top here, I think, and then it goes into some more stuff.
And I'm not sure because this thing goes fucking deep.
Yeah. Well, let's tackle it. Yeah. Oh my god, my computer's being dumb.
Oh boy.
All right, the MSQ. this is interesting. Light and darkness is going to be a shared theme across not only the main scenario, but for the contents in this patch. And then this interview scared me a little bit before 5.1. Some people might think that the start of the 5.1 story is slow compared to 5.0, but the hype will accelerate near the later half. The outcome of the whole 5. Whatever series and beyond has almost been decided already.
Okay. Each
patch will focus on different regions. Mild 5.1 spoiler, but it was very Yulmore focused, right? Their entire way of life is different now, so we have to deal with that. Yoshida says when the patches approach for the second half, probably meaning 5.3, players might end up jumping over the border of Shadowbringers and going to the void, ? Maybe not laughs. We're like, don't play with our feelings. That's where we have to happen, right? Right, that's what most of us think has to happen anyway.
Yeah, the 13th is kind of the next destination. Which
is curious, because the 13th is just basically was abandoned by the Ascians, even because they're like, it's too fucked. Emmett Silk being gone does not mean all the ambitions of the Ascians are gone, so players should look forward to what Elidibus does from here on. All right, I think we guessed that too. They don't want to be obsessed with what worked or succeeded in their past glory. They'll continue to try to deliver content by gathering all the good parts of previous contents. Okay. Players may have a rough idea of the sequel to the content in that past should arrive in 5. Whatever. There's quite a lot of content where that assumption doesn't apply or won't be right. I don't have any idea what any of that means.
The players probably have a rough idea of the sequel to that content in the past should arrive in 5.x. What content in the past? Are we talking about 4.0 content or 3.0 content or even 2 or 1.0 content?
There must be something where we think we should be getting...
Should happen. Are we talking about the moon shit again?
Or are we typing content types like Deep Dungeon? Are we not getting a Deep Dungeon? Is that what he's saying? You know what I mean?
Oh, the sequel to that content. Well, he did already say we were going to get another open world dungeon like, what's that one called? Venereal
Eureka?
Disease? Yeah, the one. No, Eureka does give me VD. I was just being stupid. The name of the one that was at the end of Eureka. The Baldizian Arsenal. Thank you, Ruby. You're welcome, Ruby. So that we're getting that. So it's not that he's talking about. It's got to be something else.
Something where we think the sequel has to be coming in 5.0, but it might not be. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
It talks a little bit about Alexander Ultimate. Probably everything in it. It's how probably everything is in it. So how many times are they going to transform, and how many times are they going to combine with each other?
Oh, wow.
The devs' passion for robots are stuffed in it. And it will be longer than Ultimate Weapon Ultimate. They're shaving off and adjusting the content right now during the interview, which took place in the past. This all Alexander in here. And they're going forward and back with removing mechanics and adding mechanics. The dev's intention and goal when creating this content is, as long as one party can clear it, we'll be fine. Wow. I don't know if that's terrifying or...
It's pretty scary.
That's kind of scary. The direction they went is closer to Bahamut Ultimate. All right. Oh, a lot of players are nice enough to stream the content, so Yoshida wants the actual challengers and viewers to scream together as they progress.
Okay.
So this is just going to be a giant troll, right? Is that...
I guess. Wow.
The Alexander fight was designed by someone who watched Sudo and Yokozuwa create the previous 2 Ultimate fights. The rewards will be weapons, and they will stand out instantly with different effects and animations. They also have a title as a reward.
Oh, cool.
The Copied Factory. So Yorha, Dark Apocalypse. The Copied Factory is on the first, and the reason why it's located there will be revealed in the second set. 5.3 or 5.5 and beyond. The Yorha raid should leave a scratch mark that's a little different to near. I don't know what that means. But they just say it's going to be easier, and we know this. It's easier than Return to Ivalice raids, but a lot of people died during the tests. It's definitely easier than Orban.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. They figure the near raids will end up being about the same difficulty as Rabanastre.
I can see that.
Yeah, that might be an okay place. I don't like it to be so dumbed down that
not Void Arc level. Void Arc is just so easy.
Kind of like AFK and
yeah.
But I don't. You don't also want to be like completely stressing people. A couple of wipes to let people learn mechanics and then success. But we didn't even really have much in the way of wipes when we did it. So, all right. This is the introduction to the near raid, so they nerfed some of the debuffs after some testing and thought it would be too hard. However, they will throw consecutive mechanics at the players they have never seen before, and players might be overwhelmed. Even after playing Nier, I was visually overwhelmed a few times.
Yeah.
Right? Just get
purple balls in my face.
And I'm like, I know I need to get away from that, but I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. All Yoshida can say is look around you and watch out. And the rewards will include what players expect from the Nier raid, and both genders can wear it, so it'll look pretty powerful when a male wears it.
Powerful.
Also, big news, the waist gear has been removed from the rewards.
That's so good.
No more World of Belt. Well, and that never made sense to me, because as someone who casually raids Savage, a belt is something I could get a hold of.
Yeah.
Right? So it didn't really... And there's so many items that drop from that, and it's not coffers, and it's not tokens. So I don't mind that it's just the... Was it 5 left side pieces?
Glamour's true endgame, and I think the 24-man raid should fall into a unique niche that supplies catch-up armor and pretty armor. I don't like it when 24-man raid gear is ugly. Mm-hmm. Looking at you, some of your Void Arc shit. Damn. Ugly shit.
Well, and this shit was dyeable out the gate, which we did not expect. In
no.
fact, we had already told somebody in the free company, we're like, 24-man gear is never dyeable out the gate. It'll be craftable later. And then it was dyeable out the gate, and we're like, oh. I am pleasantly corrected.
Oh. So, it maybe this is the new way, which I think, honestly, is a better way for them to treat 24-man raid gear.
All right. I'm not going over these job adjustments because...
They've happened.
They've happened, right? I thought there was a couple of interesting notes in the Nier stuff, but do you have any... Did we talk about it last week? Do you have any job adjustments?
No, thoughts? I mean, I talked about Summoner at length. I still feel like it's a bit clunky, but God, they've increased the DPS where that the gods in the Summoner balance Discord are like, this is way too buffed.
It's really strong.
It's really strong, and that's why you were talking about not making some DPS checks in some fights. And I'm like, oh, let me work on that opener. It's got a really odd opener that you don't use Ruin 3 until like the very end of it. And it's some things feel very odd. Anyway, it's not Summoner Podcast, but Summoner Cast. I think a lot of buffs across the board, and so I think 5.1 is going to be much easier for people to make DPS checks, do content, so on and so forth. Yeah.
All right. Hades Extreme as a whole fight. It's almost the same difficulty as Shinryu Extreme. I've actually heard it's probably a little easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those players who aren't really good with do A during B should find this fight easy. Instead, this time they organize some of the mechanics with a different style, and players who aren't good at those type of mechanics might have trouble beating the fight. I don't know what that means because I haven't really done the fight enough to really know, but... Yoshida was able to clear it on his second try after hearing all of the explanations from the devs. He did want to have a word with the devs as a black mage, though.
Uh-oh.
There's too much movement. Maybe.
The
reward will be weapons. Item level will not be higher than the even savage weapon, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this was interesting. The fight is longer than the usual extreme fights. In fact, I haven't even gotten to the point where I've seen, like, the long-ass... There's, like, a long... Have I seen the long-ass cutscene? I can't remember.
Oh.
I was pretty drunk when I was in the last point. This is why I'm probably on lots of blacklists. But, so, the fight's long, so they're now giving us twice as many totems. So, you should be able to farm your totems quicker. There's also a housing-related item, but those who are blessed by the light might feel awkward placing it in their house. I've seen it. It's a zodiac.
Spooky, purpley.
Yeah, purpley statue thing.
How do you feel about that 2 totem for a longer fight?
I think it's fine. Also, that fight does not have any benchmark, or what do you call that? Whatever. So, a lot of the fights, if you die in the second half, you don't have to do the first half again.
Mm-hmm.
This fight doesn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I'm okay with it.
I think the compensation is okay for having a longer fight. I worry if you put a lot of long fights, you'll burn people out. I think this is probably the only one they can do in the series of stuff. Well, I haven't heard any bitching, but I imagine there would be people complaining about how long.
I think if they only do it with the first EX that is an echo of the final boss of the patch,
sure.
Right? So, like, if Shinryu had given us
Thornton,
2...
right? Feels
Thornton
long.
had given us 2, right?
Yeah.
They're harder than the rest of the EX. They're usually more difficult than the other EXs.
Right. Thornton was an asshole.
Thornton was an asshole. Shinryu was an asshole. In fact, Shinryu I, cleared once... And I don't even think it was with the free company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not coming back to that. That was,
yeah.
I'm not a very good player. But, it's, I wouldn't want them to get into the habit of it. Right?
Right.
If I don't want, the primal fights they should be harder than the 24-mans, but not quite as hard as Savage.
Right.
Right? I don't mind if these special ones or storyline ones, or I don't even know how you'd say it, but, Thorid and Shinryu, Hades, they're kind of their own thing. In fact, they almost should be categorized something differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they only did it once in every major expansion, I wouldn't mind at all.
I'm okay with that.
But I think they should keep the rest of them where you don't have the long-ass cutscene on the... they did it with Innocence, right? You don't have to do that whole first half of the fight.
Right.
You don't fight Bothri at all. It's Innocence. So I feel like when we're in farm mode, we just want to farm.
Mm-hmm. So.
All right. I don't know anything about Blue Mage. Did we even get those changes yet?
They were listed some changes. I did, if there was anything else that I did hop on my Blue Mage and do a couple of those things in the Carnival, stuff that I had just not done. Because I wanted to see if there was any significant power increase that I had. And then I jumped into what's the one with the goblin and the cheese? Brayflox Longstop.
Brayflox, yeah.
And I still had trouble with the first 2 enemies. And I was like, fuck this shit. And I'll wait for whatever ongoing changes will be coming.
I almost feel like Blue Mage is going to get more interesting when they add Beastmaster or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to try to do some parallel content. They're going to try to do some stuff where... team up with other limited jobs for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I didn't even switch to my Blue Mage, honestly. And I probably won't till the level increase happens. And then I'll probably be mad because I'll probably lock something behind having finished the Carnival or whatever.
Yeah.
I've only done a few Carnival. All right. If anybody has played Blue Mage, I would be interested to hear if there's anything changed or better or whatever. Beast Tribe Quest. The Beast Tribe Quests in the 5-point whatever series will be basically the same as the previous ones, but they will probably only have 1 Beast Tribe for battle classes, which surprised me quite a bit. So I'm wondering if we're only getting 2 Beast Tribe Quests.
Maybe so.
Right? I kind of feel like they wouldn't do 2 crafting and gathering ones, and would you do 1 crafting one and 1 gathering one?
Well, it would seem weird to also have that and have Ishgard Restoration and increase the XP. Like, it's just a lot of... Because what good is a Beast Tribe crafting or gathering one. It's really for leveling, right? Like there might be some other perks, but majority of it's for leveling. But if you have 2 plus the increase of the experience plus the Ishgardian restoration, it just seems like overkill for leveling. Again, Yoshida wants to get you there quick so you can work on your end game stuff. I could be wrong, but it seems weird to have 2 that would be related to.
I could see them saying, "Okay, we only need 2 tribes," or maybe they release more pixie stuff. I don't know. It just seems weird.
Well, who's our other tribe? Who have we?
I could see maybe the Nomu. How do you say their name?
Maybe, but it's the same zone as.
It's the same zone, right?
Yeah.
What other? Well, there are beast tribes, but not beast tribes. Remember when they showed the first new beast tribes and they showed the slide and it was dwarves. Which were Lalafell?
So maybe the dwarves.
Maybe that will be the crafting or gathering one. I mean, like you just talked about, leveling up gatherers was super fast.
Yeah.
I complained about it because I like the experience of leveling because I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got all my crafters to 80. I got all my gatherers to 80. I guess maybe to tell more story. I do like having a daily quest to log in and do, but I have way more battle classes that I want that XP on.
Yeah.
Right?
Me too.
I don't really know what to do. I could see them only doing one other beast tribe, maybe.
Well, and
just because the world is kind of smaller. Or
if they do that, though, I really want them to make it where I can do more than just the 3 for that 1 per day. Give me more.
Yes, yeah. Well, you have 12 overall, but if you've kept up, there's no reason to do 12. Or there's no reason to do the older ones, right?
Right. Why would I go back if I've if I've mastered all of them? I have not. I've still got some 2.0. Some Ixali. I know. Still got some Ixali to do. Makes me want to blow my brains out to do Ixali ones, but whatever. Fast track that shit, Yoshida.
I wouldn't really mind if they went and
that one's got like 7 or 8 tiers.
Eased the Ixali a bit. I enjoyed it greatly when I did it, and I really felt like I was rewarded for having like at least a gatherer.
The real payoff was when you had Zelphatal or the one where the Azaslaw dungeon where they find out like holy shit.
We're created.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I almost cried. Yeah. All right, well, we'll see what happens. Since they received player feedback from a certain someone, they want to add the Crafter, Gatherer, Beast Tribe quests a little earlier this time. Yeah. So I'm assuming the next one we get will be Crafter and Gatherer.
Okay.
And if they give us a third one, I guess they could... Again, if they're not doing a battle class, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe it's something completely that we're not even thinking of. So, I hope so. Trusts in the new Engine dungeons. You can enter Grand Cosmos dungeon with your trusts. When you enter your first time by the MSQ, you can enter with the trust regardless of the current level. But you actually need to have them at the right level after your first clear. I did that. I did my first run through with trusts, and it was worth. They're not adding any more trusts at this time. Graha isn't a new trust because you had him in your first run for the 71 dungeon.
If you did it.
Which I lamented, right?
At least they gave you another chance.
It made me happy. It made me happy that they did so. But I still was kind of angry. Kind of angry. Oh, we have this hot scoops. All world maintenance is November 11th. That's patch 5.11.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Just came through the pipe. Just came through.
In the pipe, 5x5.
By the way, Ruby, I just want to tell you, we have that announcements bot in our Gather Together. We need to put that in the Nofika's bosom.
I have brought that up before, and people are like, I don't know. I don't want to see a bunch of shit.
Put it there, and they can fucking ignore it if they don't want it.
Well, good. I ignore a lot of the shit that goes on in that Discord anyway.
Huh? Add a roll for it.
Okay.
Right? You can add a roll for it.
No, I'll fuck it up like I did the last time I messed with this.
Oh my god, Ruby. Anyway. No, it was.
They got over it.
They got over it.
They caused it to begin with. Act right. Act right, children.
All right. New front lines. We're getting new front lines. And people who like Seal Rock will have an easy time getting into it. And the new map will be in 5.15, which we don't have a date for. Ishgard Restoration, they're going to add the Firmament District as a new area. Players will join the restoration led by House. I don't even know how you say that.
Halianarti. No, I don't know.
Halianarti. I don't know now. So anyway, the flow of the content starts by checking the restoration board, which shows you what you have to do in the current phase. You will personally gather collectibles and hand them in. Each world and server has their own and different progression. So the more people that join, the faster Ishgard will be restored on that world or server. Patch 5.1 alone has several stages of the restoration. When you reach the limit of one of those stages, a fate-ish event for gatherers and crafters will occur. This fate will occur multiple times, as long as you meet the conditions every time, but it's balanced to where you need quite a lot of participants to clear it. They do have a just-in-case bailout ready for when the fate continues to fail over and over again. That makes sense. Patch 5.1's Ishgard Restoration focuses on creating the base camp for future stages. You will get tickets as a reward as you for your turn-ins, and there are items you can obtain by trading them in. That's just another currency. The experience you can gain from these turn-ins are very juicy too. You can visit other servers to help them out. That was kind of neat, actually. The ranking system. Diadem Reborn and the proper / actual restoration / rebuilding of Ishgard will begin in patch 5.2. This is we're doing like a prequel.
Yeah.
Or whatever, right? Prelude.
Yeah.
After the Disciples of Hand and Disciples of Land rework is done, they're planning to add highly difficult recipes, which you can also turn in and helps you to be the top insert number on the ranking board. So it sounds like a lot of the content is going to be accessible to even me. And then if you really want to have your name on the board, you have to know how to push buttons good.
Right. And it also sounds to me like, going up 4 bullet points, the experience you can gain from these turn-ins are very juicy too. This is like the last push to say, get your XP before 5.2, and the actual proper restoration begins. He wants everybody all 80s before 5.2. So that's what it sounds like to me.
Well, and if the beast tribes are crafting again, there's like going to be no excuse. Yeah, we've got, first of all, it's pretty easy to do anyway. You've got custom deliveries. You've got the was it facets at the Crystarium. You have leaves are super fucking juicy. They're going to add a beast tribe that has fucking juicy leaves. They're going to add, beast tribe's going to have, crafting and gathering. And then this Ishgard Restoration and this 5.11 stuff coming out on the 11th is really, you have to go do it if you want. This is the get everybody caught up mechanism, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's an odd number patch, but they really are pushing get caught up. Go craft.
I just wonder, though, then, all this juicy XP, and I'm speaking as someone who is already all 80s for crafting and gathering, it's like, that's a lot of... Am I going to feel like I'm wasting my time? I'm hoping that the tickets have rewards and the Beast Tribe has rewards I want. I love doing stuff for story, don't get me wrong. I went to wherever and turned in my items every week just because I wanted to see the story, but...
Well, and the system needs to feed into itself in some way. I think you have to still incentivize doing the Ishgardian restoration. So the tickets need to provide mats for some other things. Not necessarily mats to go back into the Ishgardian restoration, but mats for maybe high-end glamour.
Something.
Some serious stuff that they can sell and get something good out of it if you know how to push buttons good, as well as just some other trinkets and other things, ready to get glamour out of the tickets. Mm-hmm. So for those that just want to get whatever glamour, but there's got to be another layer that gives those crafters something else to achieve.
All right. Mom. I guess that's about it for that.
Yeah.
That they did talk a little bit about a PlayStation 5 version. They're positively considering the release of a PS5 version. It doesn't mean PS4 versions will suddenly be able to adjust everything just like the PC version from the start. Even if they do release a PlayStation 5 version, the first release will be a normal playable edition, and then they will add PS5 specific features and functions that live up to its graphics and other capabilities. That's okay.
That's great. I was just thinking, like, to PS4 players, do you think they would think, oh, PS5's coming out, they're going to upgrade me for free like they did the PS3?
Probably
no. PS3 was dying. Your PS4 is not dying just because they put in a PS5 out.
All right. And just so our listeners know, we have read the tiny little synopsis. There is a ton of other deeper dives into stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you want to read any of this.
No.
I had read it earlier. I think we hit the, if you're intrigued, go read more.
Long Q&A. Yeah, there's a big Q&A here that's got, I think we did the TLDR, but there's a lot of other juicy info inside.
I'm sure we can link it.
We can.
All right. This next one's an article that I honestly haven't read yet, but I thought it looked interesting enough that we could maybe cover it on the show.
Ooh, let's see.
Yeah, PCGamesN.com. PCGamesN.com. Games-with-raids. How to make a raid. Lessons from WoW, Guild Wars 2, and Final Fantasy XIV devs. We asked designers of the world's leading MMORPGs what goes into their pinnacle endgame content. Whew. So, since their inception in the late 90s, MMORPGs have proven one of the most durable permutations of social gaming, and their influences can be felt across the grand spectrum of games, from grinding levels solo because no one you know is online, to grouping up with a gaggle of randoms. To tackle a stiffer challenge, MMOs have always thrived in a shared sense of community to get you through the doldrums of life, or at least the drudgery of running the same quest again and again and to get the next gate. All right. There is heavy advertising on this page. I'm like, I can't get away from this video.
Well, what I'm skimming through and reading has a lot to do with how rating has changed throughout the years, and your rating group has developed through the years. They're talking about EverQuest. They're talking about World of Warcraft, what makes a good World of Warcraft raid. And they're talking about the Holy Trinity, which is what Final Fantasy XIV subscribes to, for better or worse. It definitely works for WoW. And it moves forward in time here to what raids are as we move into Final Fantasy XIV. I'm kind of skimming down here, Yelton. I'm seeing a part here that Yoshida's quoting, but your thoughts?
Well, I was just going to say that one of the things that caught my eye right away is raid-style content is, one of the innate features of raids. We're going to see this all next week when Ultimate comes out, right? One of the innate features of raids is the fostering of socialization and camaraderie, which is doubly critical to the MMO genre. Being the first of your peers on a server of thousands of people to complete a particularly difficult encounter brings notoriety, proof of your skill with the game's most challenging concepts, and oftentimes the end result is a solidified friendly bonds. That's what MMOs are all about. Now, don't get me wrong, 14, you can basically play by yourself 90% of the time, But that's, especially these really difficult raids, even people not doing the raid are watching.
Yeah. Yeah, and Yoshida really goes into this ultimate stuff in the section about Final Fantasy XIV. It pivots into Yoshida's need to work on Ultimate to replace the existing Savage raids as the hardest content in the game. This is from the magazine here, but while he emphasizes that Ultimate raids are intended to stand apart from Final Fantasy XIV's core progression, Yoshida says they're a response to the needs of the greater player base. The increase in player skill is astounding, and thus a dynamic gap has opened up. And so when we make raids, we try to minimize that gap by tuning the job actions and the battle systems overall. He says, I feel that what makes a raid good or bad is not the difficulty level, but whether the gimmicks and mechanics are convincing enough to the player. If the way they solve the raid is convincing, and players can accept the logic behind it, then they will continue to try it even if the difficulty level is high. So is that like if you push the button and it gives you the cheese, we'll do it.
You keep pushing the button, but if it electrocutes you, you do something else.
Yeah, I'm used to that. That I know in life. No, I guess it's, I get it. It needs to make sense. Final Fantasy is also, a pretty game. You want to make sure that things are dazzling. I've said this in repeated episodes of the past that I was always impressed in Star Wars: The Old Republic when I played that there was a boss that had mechanics that you stepped on panels and it did certain things where it superheated the boss and then you supercooled the boss to crack the armor, and then you had to repeat cycles of this while you DPS'd it down, and I was always impressed because that was my first experience with anything like that. And still at times I fail to see 14 give, I know if Yoshida here says meaningful mechanics, but sometimes they don't feel meaningful. They're just tethers, or you're just, chasing an egg around in a circle or something like that. It doesn't really have the feeling that, some elemental property that I'm using or
matter.
Something matters.
There was the one, and they don't do it in all of them, but there was one in Alexander where you're fighting the guy and, you have to go stand in this puddle and turn into an ape to push the bombs across.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Another. Right, so those things were you could go in blind. You weren't going to clear it your first time, right, if you were blind. Mm-hmm. But you could, through trial and error, figure out what all the mechanics are. So that's one type of it. But then there's another type where it's a stack marker. It's a tether. They reuse a lot of stuff, which is probably fine as long as it's consistent. We yell out Shiva circles. We yell out Sophia light and dark or whatever. There are mechanics that are, when I see that, I know what to do. But, some of them, like the near raid, there's a lot of, I don't know what that means still, but we're learning. I thought this was interesting, too. While designers have to worry about wrangling that sense of challenge within a raid group, they also have to accommodate different degrees of player skill. Over the past decade, many MMOs have introduced difficulty settings for their raids, which allows the game to appeal to both the highly skilled guilds competing to become the first in the world to slay the Archfiend, but the most casual groups that someone calls the Friday night beer run crowd. 14 doesn't have... And that's where Yoshida comes into it right after that. We don't have... What do they call that in WoW where you pick what it is? We don't have that, right? So if you're not good enough to do Ultimate, you're not ever going to see that fight. They have kind of split the difference on Savage, where there's a normal mode that you can see 95% of it. The final boss might have another form, but the drops are vastly different. But we don't have that tiered rating kind of thing. I think the only one that doesn't have a normal mode and a savage mode is Coil. Coil does have a savage. I do have to go back and do some of that, because they did add, for some parts of it, a savage mode with just basically different titles. But again, it's fun to watch, to look back where we're like, oh, the development team was testing this here, and then they made it a reality here.
Yeah. And Coil was that divisive raid, right? That the story was blocked
mainline
out.
Stories locked behind it.
Yeah, and you had to do that. I think it was an official forum post I read this week that said, why isn't Coil added to these roulettes? And there's a reason why Coil is not added to some of these roulettes, because they would be too difficult. Coil is still insanely difficult for some people. At eye level, it would be insanely difficult for some people to do turn 9. It just would.
Well, they're talking a bit here on a boss arenas. I know in 14, the boss arenas, Coil was a story. It was a dungeon in itself that had well, the first one had 2 bosses,
Mm-hmm.
right? I remember the first night we raided Ruby, I think we just died forever on the first boss.
Yeah.
But, and they very much have morphed into, they've even taken away the striking dummy at whatever, the DPS checker or whatever, for the most part. They're not, they're just a circle or a square boss arena now. And they talked a bit about, in other games, there's different stuff going on in the fights, but I guess maybe that feels doing your weekly clear, it's too much of a pain in the ass. Mm. And then they also talked about the radical shift that's occurred with raiding. Raids, a lot of games, they used to be 40-man huge groups. And, Destiny 2 has groups that are now 6. 8 is the maximum party size, and 14. I remember 11 feeling like that felt pretty good, where we have 18?
Right.
3 groups of 6. So, I don't know. It's 14, that is kind of one of our complaints. Everything's balanced, but it's balanced around 4 and 8, and
we want more.
Multiples of. I want more. I don't know. They talked about group size and whatever, but I think they talk at the very end here. I think raids are more about the feeling that it's the capstone content, that these are the most players you've ever going to see in-game assembling for real purpose. Well, not so much for 14, because while anything greater than 4-man, 14 calls a raid, a lot of us are like, 8 isn't a raid group, right? But I do agree that, raids, Savages and stuff, Savage and Ultimate, those are the capstone content.
Correct.
And then they finish off with while the continued popularity of live games means the style of endgame content is likely to spread further across the culture. For many, the MMO remains the home of the raid. And though these designers admit that the hours of crunching and grinding to reach the next goalpost after many, many team wipes aren't necessarily for everyone, when it comes to the mindset of enthusiasts who continue to push the challenge even further, Yoshida puts it best. That is like asking a mountaineer, why do you climb mountains? They take on the challenge because there is a raid. They're waiting to be conquered. That's why I do it. You're not wrong. I don't raid really for the shinies. I raid. Yes, I want the drops, but I love that feeling of, oh my god, I did it.
Yes.
And I was complaining earlier to Ruby about being dragged into O1S or E1S and not doing that good. And yes, I wanted a page, but it did feel good to actually clear it then and be like, okay, I did a thing.
You still got it.
Any final thoughts from you?
No. I was happy to hear Yoshida's thoughts. It's, a never-ending cycle. I think he plays down the skill of the player base and doesn't realize that we eat his content up. And it's just another example why there needs to be test servers and things of that nature, but whatever.
Yeah, I understand. One of the biggest arguments against test servers has been data mining.
Yeah, which happens anyway.
And ruining early storyline things or figuring out fights or whatever.
We all remember Blue Fever from the whole of 4.0 that leaked every fucking thing, so what does it matter?
Yes. Yeah, yep, I kind of agree. All right, let's move on. What's on tap? We're going to go quickly through these developer blogs. Markets, Mannequins, and Meals Oh My. Patch 5.1 is close. No, it's over. But anyway, they were giving a sneak peek of the exterior design of a house in the latest live letter, and it looks kind of cool. I'm not ready to change. These market stalls are cool too. I think we talked about them last week. That they're not too shabby.
I know we're still working on our house, but I really kind of want to work on my personal house. A side note, I did receive a demolition notice at one point, if I didn't say that. I got one during that interim where I wasn't playing. Did not realize it. Had logged in. I got a feeling, like the 12 whispered into my soul, you should log in. So I logged in and, walked into my house. I don't remember ever seeing any pop-up or anything in-game, but my house was there and everything's fine. It's still there. I was logged in today. But, yeah, apparently I got that demolition notice at some point. Didn't realize it. But I want to do some changes on my house, too, is where I was getting at eventually.
I love my little tiny house, but I just don't know what to do with it.
I don't either.
Right? Yeah.
Mine's right on the beach. It's in the mist. It's the last house on the end, at the end of the beach.
A prime location.
It kind of is. Thanks, Zante. That was back right before they cut off where you couldn't sell somebody a house. He sold me his house. He was moving servers. He sold me his house. And, yeah.
Nice, though. So you claimed it.
Yeah, I claimed it. What I'm thinking, make it into like some kind of like beach house sort of thing. Or, I don't know, maybe throw some of these stalls up there. Maybe I can use some of those retainers and sell some things. And I don't know, man. Puka shells or shell necklaces or souvenirs from the Mist Beach.
You need to make like margaritas or some sort of beach drink.
Shot glasses, T-shirts. I could make a killing here.
All right. Well, if you want to populate your house now with Huron, Ellas, and mannequins, those are available. Also, a whole bunch of paintings from the first are available. Let's see. Oh, you have to. It might be a good idea to start completing the Shadowbringer sightseeing log for these paintings. And in case you missed it, there's a bunch of little updates in 5.1. People have wanted to interact with meals while sitting. They made that possible because you used to just stand up. It was very, very weird. But anyway, yeah, you can turn on lamps and play music from your orchestrion without standing up. It's not a huge deal, but it's kind of nice. I do love the Halloween-themed screenshot here. It is adorable. I know that event's over now, but it's like, that was... Halloween is kind of my favorite. All right, next one is Now You See Me, Now You Don't. 5.1 is here. We hope you're enjoying it. You can now utilize group pose while riding another person's mount. That was actually one of the things that was bothering me, because we were like driving around in the car and I was sitting all cute off of one of the seats and I can't do G-pose. Now you can adjust the character lighting within the group pose menu, so that's cool. You can manually adjust the brightness setting.
Nice.
Yeah. Character display settings are added. Let's see. You can now manually turn displays of specific characters on or off. You can hide yourself, other players, NPCs, companions, pets, or minions, and even the enemies. That's cool, because how many times have we tried to get the free company together, do free company pictures, and we tell them over and over again, put away your minions.
Yes.
And the minions like fucking around.
And there's always one person that forgets to put their...
They're like AFK. But yeah. So, let's see. This is a cute picture. Anyway, so yeah, there's a screenshot here of controlled character. Self, players, minion, PC, companion, pet, minion, NPC, non-controlled. Yeah, so you can hide enemies. You can just simply turn them off. That's cool. Or you could just like take yourself completely out of the picture. That's kind of neat too. So it's like, yeah. I usually scroll into like first person view or whatever, but sometimes you still can't get the shot you actually want. There's a lot of screenshots here of minions and they did some. Oh my God, what is going on here? Oh, they get a whole bunch of Lalafell to go into that Lalafell only house. Summon the little... Is it a beaver? What is it? Not a beaver. It's a hamster. I can't remember. And they just all hid themselves. That's almost creepy. Still a nice, cool feature. We know endgame is glamour and screenshots. G-pose is how you get good pictures. That's how you get your internet points on Reddit, right?
That's right. Upvotes to the left. Give me Reddit gold, please.
It's like, this game is so beautiful, and it's always a picture of their character.
The best ones are the shit posts making fun of those. Those are
Ruby,
the better ones.
I check shitpost new, then I check tells from the Duty Finder, and then maybe if I have more time in my day, I go check the main one.
If you have any sanity points left.
If I have any sanity points left, yes. All right, center stage at Fan Festival 2019 in Seoul. Hello, everyone. This is Sister bringing you a summary of the Soul Fan Festival held on October 5th and 6th. It kicked off with a keynote from Yoshi P, where he announced Shadowbringers would be released in Korea on December 3rd. They showed some glamour gear and other stuff exclusive to the Korean version. What?
This dude's got Adidas sneakers on. What the hell?
I have not scrolled down that far.
Okay.
I've only seen the top of a really dumb-looking hat, in my opinion.
Scroll a little bit further and look at this Joker's feet.
Uh-huh.
He's got Adidas. What? How can I support some Adidas?
We'll be able to purchase that for $18 in the box
great.
station in a couple of years. It's going to be okay.
Holy smokes.
You're
Okay.
not wrong, though. It's atrocious.
Mm.
I'm just telling you. It's atrocious. All right, some notable segments were Yoshi P and Soken appearing for the developers panel, and they were delighted to share some stories about developing the game. There was a cosplay. Ooh, cosplay.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Listeners, that's a, the fuck's her name?
Oh, what?
Saryu?
No, not Saryu. It's Suzaku.
Suzaku, thank you. Jesus Christ. That's very lovely. Oh my god, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
These are good. These are all good. Oh my god. That's Omega.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Very
nice.
nice.
Nice job. They did a Feast Regional Championship Finals also. Apparently amazed Yoshi P. They did a panel featuring voice actors of the prominent characters. And then they did musical performances. Susan Calloway and Kaiko wrapped up the first day with a piano concert. And the second day had a performance by the Primals. I love the Primals.
Me too.
I've never seen my husband more excited about anything Final Fantasy related until we saw the Primals the first time. The piano concert was well received. It was the first time it had been performed in Korea. These pictures are amazing.
They're beautiful.
So yeah, that looks like it was a great time.
They managed to get the crowd to use the same colored lights, unless they were all programmed. Man, maybe they were all programmed. They gave everybody a light, and they were all pre-programmed to do certain things at different parts of the concert. But when we were at FanFest, of course, everybody bought their lights, and they all got different colors. Now, they set those lights up where there's like 6 different colors, so elemental, if you think about it, you know what to use for Shiva or whatever. But then when you get like Sephiroth or something else, you're like, well, what color should I use for that one? So there's no uniformity at the ones for FanFest. It's for not for the North America one anyway, but for Seoul, I suppose so.
All right, then it's time for Happy Hour. We do have some tweets actually. William Riley, the old school gamer, I assume is what it says. At GTFFXIV. So I love Final Fantasy XIV. I just beat the main scenario, Heavensward. What a great story. And spoiler, I want to save Estinian. I spelled his name wrong, but I want to beat Stormblood. But I've just become a level 60 monk and a level 60 white mage, and I have so many skills, I'm not sure how to set them. Yeah, they play on a PlayStation. It's becoming hard to do a rotation. And he says, you guys always say no one wants someone to be on their team with a bad rotation. Watch your videos. But it's hard to use your skills on the controller. And now it's starting to worry me. And honestly, no one wants someone to be on their team with a bad rotation. Watch videos, but it's hard to use your skills on a controller. And now it's starting to worry me. And honestly, I don't want to watch an hour video on my UI. But I might have to, and I have, but it's not working well. So you guys talk about macros. I've never used any, so I'm not playing as much anyways. I've yammered enough, so I'm playing. But I'm getting worried I'll ruin the game for someone in my party. Okay, first of all, take a breath. Mm-hmm. Just take a deep breath, because it depends on what content you're playing. For the most part, if you're just running dungeons and capping and 24-mans and as long as stuff is dying decently, you're probably doing okay, right? You're probably not doing terrible. You're probably doing better than you think. But I know that I don't use macros, right? I use like one macro for placing Asylum, and it sounds like you're Sounds like you're doing more damage dealer jobs. I don't know how many of those use macros anymore.
I don't use... Well, my Summoner, I use a weird macro because of the clunkiness that Dreadworm Trance and Bahamut being on two separate buttons instead of it being the same on like Phoenix. So I have like a macro for that, but that's a unique sort of thing. Without Shadow Flare or any of that kind of like setting down a hot, there's no sense in any of those macros. And I would honestly avoid macros for a lot of things because macros will lock some stuff or they won't go off properly.
Stuff doesn't queue properly.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't remember. There's something that's like doesn't. Macros are bad.
Well, macros do not have that queue time where you can hit a button and it'll add in. If I hit Cure 2 and then hit Regen really fast after that. The regen will happen after the Cure 2 because there's a queue time, and it's an instant that'll happen. But I can't hit Cure 3 and my macro of regen over mouse over target, and that regen happen. It doesn't work that way. You have to spam the button. So people who use macros have to click, 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 click to make sure that they go off. And for that one macro that I use, I have to do that same thing. So they're not as efficient, and it's not as efficient time-wise either. There's fractions of a second that build up when you use macros because they're on whole numbers, where you have fractions of a second because of how much skill speed or spell speed materia or whatever that you have. So you shortchange yourself if you use a lot of macros. There are guides, though. I know there are guides to do that. I don't know of any because I don't play in a controller, and I wish I did.
Yeah, I don't play in a controller either, but the feedback I've heard from the community in 5.0, 5.1 has been they got rid of some of the button bloat, and people are able to fit their entire stuff on macro. But there are some macro set. Go to your configuration, look at some of the macro settings. Not macro settings, some of the controller settings. I know there are some where people are like, if you hold down the left button and the right button or click or press or whatever, it'll pop up a second set. So I know that there's ways to maybe have your opener on, if you hold down one set of buttons and then you have your regular rotation without holding down those buttons. There are settings in there. I've heard that you can fit all of the rotations for all the jobs on a controller now. So that's what I think I've heard. I could be wrong. I would really, really welcome listeners to let me know. I know we have some listeners that use controllers. And it might just be as simply as there's like an expanded palette or something. It's been like, I don't remember the word for it, but there is some settings in the configuration in 14 that just has been lauded as the best thing ever for controllers. So that's why I suspect you're missing something in there, and it's probably not obvious what it is. So you may have to, Google a guide. You shouldn't have to watch an hour video about your whatever. You should be able to look up a rotation for your job. You should be able to look up, tips and tricks for a controller. And then from there, you should be able to build your bars, I would think. But, don't be scared to empty your bar and rebuild them. It's harder on controller. But on PC, I many times have, wiped my palette clean, all my bars empty, and then go through and read all my tooltips and figure out what the combos are, and then look up a guide on what, the opener. And you need to know your opener, and you need to know your rotation, and you need to know your single target rotation, and you need to know your AoE rotation.
Correct.
Right? That's about it.
Yeah.
Right. So there are three things. There's an opener. There's always an opener, I think, for every job still. And then there's some sort of AoE rotation and some sort of single target rotation. You should be able to fit those all on your controller. But you might have to go into the config settings and find out There's some sort of like toggles or something. I remember from messing about on a controller on my husband's PlayStation. But keep trying. And I would very much welcome anyone who wants to send us some hints and tips for controller players, because that's Ruby and I don't play on controller. We don't know.
I thought about it for Fisher, but I...
Okay, I have pulled out an Xbox controller because it has Rumble.
Yeah, that was the reason.
Yeah. I just like sat, like put my feet up, leaned back, and watched some Netflix. But that was before spearfishing. Because when spearfishing was in, that's more like the other kind of gathering. Mm-hmm. So I kind of did a lot of spearfishing.
I didn't read any of the spearfishing stuff, and I have to say I was completely fucking it up until I had an aha moment halfway through. Like, I was like already 67, 68 or something. Mm-hmm. I thought you had to hit it right when that thing flashed. I didn't realize it flashes and then there's like bubbles and then it flashes again and it's gone. So you have that bubble window to do it. I thought you had to...
I still fuck that up. I see that because it does
that first one.
And that's not it.
It's not it.
That's false.
Yep. Got me a million times until I was watching the TV and I looked over and I was like, what are all these fucking bubbles? And I did it again. And then I hit thinking like, oh, it flashed again. Let me hit. And it was like, no, you already missed your catch. And I was like, what do you mean I missed it? What the fuck were those bubbles? Well, that was...
No, I completely fucked up over and over and over again. And then when I was then when I went back to level again, I fucked it up again. Yeah. Because it's not... It fakes you out.
It does.
Right?
Yep.
It fakes you out. All right. And then Willem writes us again. Well, me specifically, by the way. Yelta Sims, I've finished Heavensward and I want to raise a few other jobs and it's so slow. I've not unlocked the dungeons like Heavensward and, well, I guess no Diadem and no Eureka. It's so hard to raise alt classes. Well, I forgot my question during my ramble. It's okay, dude. Just chill. Just breathe. You need... Let's see. What are the hints and tips for taking other jobs from 60 to 70? You need to unlock all the dungeons, because you need to do your roulettes.
Right.
Roulettes are a lot of XP every day. You need to unlock and do Beast Tribe dailies. Yep. Those are a lot of XP every day. Other than that, I guess you can still do... There's a... What's the one called? No, that's... There's a Palace of the Dead...
Heaven on High?
Thing. Heaven on High? Is that the one?
Yeah.
There should be something like that. I know that you just keep running over and over and over again. Fates are okay, but not great. Your real meat, I think, is doing your roulettes. Right. The job you want to do, you need to unlock whatever you need to unlock to do the roulette every day.
And do your damn...
job.
And
PvP.
Do the fucking... I have to watch the cutscene one. Just... Do it. It's a whole
MSQ?
level. Do the MSQ.
Just do it. Just read a book.
Go make dinner.
You need to... You have to push buttons when it's time to push buttons. Because I get really mad at people who...
Yeah, don't get
log
kicked.
in and just stand at the entrance. I'll kick your ass. But I'm not paying attention during every cutscene. I loved watching the cutscenes the first few times. I'm kind of over them now.
Sure.
But... The MSQ roulette, and you can do those. You've unlocked them both because you finished Heavensward. It is so much XP for so little effort.
Right.
And, if you want commendations, by the way, just say anything in the chat box. Just chat a little bit. People will be like, if you, keep up with the group and do your job and chat a little bit, you're getting commendations.
That's right. You'll be a mentor before you know it.
Well, and Diadem and Eureka... They're not going to help you with leveling so much. So you don't really worry about that. So unlock your dungeons, do your roulettes is step one. Beast Tribe dailies are also excellent.
Yes.
And
do those every day.
Deep Dungeon, Heaven on High, whatever. I can't remember now. But
and I guess, you could still do hunts if you were looking for other shit.
Hunts aren't so much XP. They're more... I don't
know. You could do your B rank.
Roulettes are really it.
Something.
You should do your B rank. Yes. Actually, you know what? You're not wrong. I was thinking hunt trains.
Oh.
And hunt trains aren't where you want to be leveling. But going to the board and signing up for your hunts, you've got daily hunts and you've got weekly hunts. Well, what else do you have? Actually, you know what? You need to look in your menu and find your weekly challenge stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Every week you do 5 fates and then another 5 fates, and it's a lot of XP. There's a lot of weekly stuff you can do. There's daily stuff, there's weekly stuff. So I don't know why it seems hard to raise alt classes. I only have trouble from like level 60 to 61 where you unlock that next section.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. But you need to unlock the dungeons and do your roulettes. Those are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. You're in Heaven's Ward. I think that's high enough to queue in my note earlier. I'm queuing into PvP as whatever I want XP on, and then I switch to whatever I want to play once I'm in there. So it shouldn't be that hard. So if you listen to this and try it, let us know if it's going better for you.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
Or if it's still terrible, let us know, and we will do some more research, because it shouldn't be that hard. No, dungeons, queuing up as a damage dealer are going to take a while. So what I usually do when I'm leveling a damage dealer, I queue up for whatever, and then I go do the highest level Beast Tribe dailies I can do. Right? You can be doing the Beast Tribe dailies while you're waiting for the queue to pop. But that's my hints. That's Yelta's.
I agree.
Best
with
guess.
all of it.
So yeah, good luck to you, William. Let us know how it's going, because I think sometimes we forget what it's like to be level 60 to be level 70.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I think we're done.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't think it was going to go this long. Apparently I talked too much.
There was stuff to talk about, so that's a good thing.
There was stuff to talk about. I'm happy that we're both playing again. It brings joy to my heart. That I was really worried when I was having that lull, and it was like almost 2 months, and I'm like, I'm done with this game. And people are like, don't worry, take a break. And I'm like, you don't understand. If I don't play a game for more than a couple of weeks, I don't come back.
Yes, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
This game and Dragon Quest games are the only ones that can hook me, after so long. Well, apparently Edgerine Odyssey as well, because I played that for 7 years, and I finally beat that. So, yes, Final Fantasy XIV has a magic. You can't be away for forever. One, you'll lose your house, almost. But you have to. I have to play, because if I don't, I start to get negative about things. And there's nothing to really be negative about right now as far as content goes in this game. There's lots to do and lots coming.
Well, and I find that every time, so like this particular patch cycle, this happens every time. I'm like, oh, I want to do Hades, but I feel bad that I stopped running Eden Savage to at least get all my accessories, so now I'm like behind. This happens every time. When like the second 24-man comes out, I'll be like, oh, well, I quit running the first 24-man after 3 weeks, so I don't have the tokens, and I don't want to go back and run it now. So staying current can feel a little like a job, but like I said, I did E1S yesterday, and it felt terrible when I was the one murdering the party, but it felt really good to go back in there, clear it, and have a token that let me get another accessory, and then I'm stronger now. So I don't know. I can't. If I ever don't come back for a patch, I probably never come back.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, and mine was, if I don't come back for some Halloween event or some little event, I always want if I can get them with reasonable ease, I want every achievement. We're not talking about Garo stuff. I just mean log in.
I bypassed some of the Garo stuff.
You trade cookies.
That's the first stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, no, the Garo stuff is the first stuff. I never did all the things to get all the rewards, and it's gone now. Right? I did not get I'm not so much worried about every piece of gear, but I didn't get all the titles, and I didn't get all the mounts, mostly the mounts. So that's gone now. I can never get it back. Right. So why do I bother playing?
I don't know. I just delete your account. I don't know what to say.
Delete my account. I don't know. And I don't want to buy the Halloween stuff next year on the Mom Station. Right. I want to do the event, and I want to feel. I understand that. Well, I was telling Ruby earlier, I think before we started recording, and we're getting long now, but I've kind of changed how I play this game. I usually play MMOs, and I've played this one quite a long time. I usually play MMOs where there's, older school MMOs, there's always way more content than you could ever complete on your character. Mm-hmm. So this one, there's lots of content, and it's varied, but, if I did all the content that interests me, I run out.
Yeah.
And then if I have, drama in the free company or any sort of interpersonal stuff or, a time of period where I'm like, why bother? So, they designed this game to have quick catch-ups, which also dissuades me because I'm like, well, why log in now when I can get all the bonuses tomorrow? Right. So there's that, but I don't know. I still want to do all the things, and Beast Tribe Dailies get me there. They've not talked about relics, have they? Right. So the next thing that's going to get me to come back, Beast Tribe Dailies is going to hold me for a while. Doing Nier for a couple more weeks will hold me. I'm really looking forward to Ishgard Restoration, and hopefully that will keep my attention to log in and do that, and then, then I'll level my alt jobs or whatever, just because I've managed to log in. But there always has to be something to pull you back in. And I worry sometimes that there's not enough to pull me back in. But so far there has been, and we've been playing this for a while now. So.
Right. Same here.
Still love the game, though. Still love the game. All right, then it's closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You can find links to all of our episodes and blog posts on our website at gtffxiv.com. While there, please leave us a comment. And if you'd like to, you can support us by clicking the donation button. You can find us on Twitter at gtffxiv. Email us at gtffxiv@gmail.com. Please rate us. Personal plugs, Ruby.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Rubicon Vale, RUBICONVALE.
And you can find me on Twitter at YeltaSumasu, YELTASUMASU. As always, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.